Hello everyone. In today's session, we will see that how to define a class in Python. Today, we are going to see following content in this session: that what is the keyword that is being used to define a class in Python, what should be the naming convention of a class, how to utilize docstring and which format to follow. Then we will see that a class without any argument. Then we will see importance of double underscore init, double underscore and self keyword. So instead of double underscore, you can say underscore. So we will see importance of underscore init, underscore method and self keyword. And then we will see a class that is expecting arguments or keyword arguments. Let's start it. First, we will see what is the indention in Python. So you might be knowing that Python is an indention based language. In Python, you need to provide one tab or full space indention. So whenever you are going to define any class, any function, in that case, the next statement, the next line of that particular class or function will have 4 spaces or one tab indentation. Regarding docstring, so I am using the format mentioned over here on these links. I have provided these links in description box, so you can get an overview regarding the format of docstring. Then if you want to access a docstring of any class or any function, in that case you can access it by underscore doc underscore method. For example, class name or function name dot underscore doc underscore. So this way you can access docstring of that particular class or a function. Now let's see a very basic class without any argument. So over here, keyword that is being used to define a class is class. So CLASS, class is the keyword that is going to be used to define a class in Python. Then say hi, this is the name of that class, and as per the PAP 8 standard, the class name should be camel case. So over here I have used those camel case and provided the name say hi, and this is very simple statement, print hello world. As soon as I will execute this particular cell, it will define the class say hi, and as I have used print statement, so without calling that particular class, it will directly print hello world statement. Now as I have mentioned that if you want to access docstring of any class or a function, you just need to execute it like class name or function name dot underscore doc underscore, and you will be able to access the docstring of that particular class or a function. Now in this case, I have defined a class called say hi with return statement. As soon as I'm going to execute this cell, I will get an error that return outside function. The reason being, you cannot utilize a return statement in a class directly. You need to use this return statement within a function itself only. You cannot use it outside of function, and that's why we have got this error. In this next cell, I have defined a class called say hi with some docstring, and over here I have defined a function called greetings and then return hello world. So in this case, it won't give me any error because I have used return statement inside a function. Now there are two ways to call any class. These two ways are, first is either you directly call that particular class like this way. In this cell, I have directly called the class by its name like say hi. Another way is you create a variable and assign a class to that particular variable. So in this second cell over here, I have created a variable called hi and then assigned say hi class to this particular hi variable. So in whichever way you call any class, like you call the class directly or you assign the class to any variable, in both of the cases we can say that we have created an instance or an object of that particular class. So over here, this is an instance or an object of class say hi, even though I am calling it directly like this. And in this second cell, I have created an instance or an object called hi of the class say hi. Okay, and in both the cases, I will get the same output, that this is a main module called say hi. Now in this particular class, I have defined a function called greetings. So if I want to access this greetings function, if I execute it like hi dot greetings, in that case I will get an output like this, that this is a function of main module say hi, which I can access like this, greetings and parentheses. So if I want to get some output by calling that particular function of the class, I need to execute it like this cell hi dot greetings and parentheses. So it will return me some output like hello world. Another way, I can directly call the class say hi and then access it function called greetings like this as well. Okay, in both the cases I will get the similar output. Now we will see a class with some arguments, some parameters. So first of all, we will see the positional arguments. The reason that we call it as positional arguments is, let's say I have defined a class or a function with, let's say, two parameters, two arguments a comma b, and their values must be 1 comma 2. Okay, so whenever I'm going to execute the class or the function, I will provide the values like 1 comma 2. So a will be 1 and b will be 2. But let's say in case by mistake I have provided the values like 2 comma 1. So in that case, a will be equal to 2 instead of a equal to 1, and b equal to 1 instead of b equal to 2. So that's why we call it as positional arguments, because the values of those arguments must be in that particular order in which arguments are. Next thing that we will see is how to create a class which will accept some arguments, some parameters. So if you are going to create a class in the similar way in which we are creating a function by providing parameters name or arguments name in the parentheses, then it is a wrong way to define a class which will accept some arguments or some parameters. The reason being, in the context of class, Python will consider whatever the parameters name or arguments name that you have given in the parentheses. Python will consider it as a base class, and it will think that you want to use this base class and you want to inherit this base class properties in the another class. So you want to override or extend the class that you have provided in the parentheses. In the context of this say hi class, what will happen? Let's say this is the parameter name that I want to define a class with. In this case, parameter name will be considered as a class, and Python will think that this say hi class wants to inherit properties of this parameter name class. It wants to override or extend properties of this parameter name class in say hi class. So this is a wrong way to define a class to accept any argument or a parameter. So then how to define a class which will accept some arguments, some parameters? So for that purpose, we have one provision in Python. For that, you need to use _init_ method with self keyword. The next question will be, then what is the usage or what is the importance of _init_ method and self keyword in class in Python? We can say that _init_ is a method for initialization. So it will be used to instantiate or initialize an object or an instance of the class with provided attributes or arguments or parameters with their respective values. Whatever the definition I have written over here are the same and one, just I have defined these definitions with altering the text with a different nomenclature. That's it. Then what is the uses of self keyword in this _init_ method? So its uses is, it will bind given attribute or parameter or argument with its respective values to the instance or the object of the class itself. Okay, so with the help of self keyword, we will be able to access anything that we have defined within a class from anywhere within a class. If you have got confused about this definition, let's say uses of _init_ method and self keyword, then let's understand it from the perspective of code, that what will be the impact if we are using this method and keyword, and what will be the impact if we are not using this method and keyword. Okay, so just one last sentence, that without this _init_ method and self keyword, you won't be able to access anything that we have defined within a class from anywhere within the class. So let's understand. Over here I have defined a class say hi with some docstring. Over here I have defined a class say hi with a function called greetings and another function called mix. One thing to note over here is, whenever you are going to define a function inside a class, you can consider that function as a method as well. So during this entire session, I will be interchanging these terms, method with function or function with method. Both are the same. So over here we have created two methods greetings and mix under the class say hi. And you can see that right now I have not utilized init method and self keyword. So first of all, let me execute this cell and define a class over here called say hi. Now if I'm going to create an instance or an object of this particular class, let's execute this cell, and you can see that I have got this error that say hi takes no arguments. The reason being, I have not utilized _init_ method, and hence without the uses of this init method I have got this error that say hi takes no argument. So you can see that this class does not accept any argument. But yes, the method, the function that we have defined within this class is accepting an argument called name. So what I need to do is I need to create the instance of this class without providing any argument. So instead of this say hi Nayan, I just need to provide say hi only. Then print where.greetings Nayan. So this Nayan parameter value will be directly provided to this greeting function. So this Nayan will come over here, Nayan, and then hello Nayan. Okay, and you can see that over here I have defined another method called mix, which will try to access another method called greetings, and it will provide it an argument, a parameter name. So when I have tried to execute this cell, this particular statement where.mix, you can see that I have got the error that name greetings is not defined. Even though these mix and greetings methods are in the same class, I am not able to access one method from the another method. Okay, now let me define the same function over here again, but before that I would like to show one more thing, where.greetings. So you can see the definition of this greetings method, that it is a function of main module called say hi, and we can access it like greetings, and then we need to provide name argument, value of name parameter. Now I am going to define same class again, but this time I'm going to use this _init_ method with self keyword. So let me execute this cell and define the class. Okay, over here what I'm going to do is now execute this cell. So first of all, the first thing that I want to show you, this time I have called this particular class with some argument called Nayan. So I have provided a value for this parameter called Nayan. Okay, so this time we haven't got any error. Why? Because we have used this init method. So now I am able to call this class with some values of some parameter. So in my case, it is the value Nayan of this parameter name. Second thing, where.greetings. Over here, I have got the definition of where.greetings like this, that bound method say hi.greetings. So greetings is a bound method of this main class or main module called say hi, which has been provided some memory location. So this is the kind of memory location. If you compare it with our earlier response, so over here you can see that where.greetings, over here it is a function of this main module, and over here this where.greetings is a bound method of this main module. So when we have used this self keyword, the definition of that method has been changed from a function to the bound method. Okay, so as I have mentioned, with the help of self keyword, we will be able to bind anything that we have defined in the class with the instance or the object of the class itself. So over here I have bind these greetings and mix methods or greetings and mix functions with this where instance or where object of this particular say hi class. So now where.greetings, it will tell me hello Nayan. Where.mix, it will tell me hello Nayan. Also I am able to access this name attribute like this, where.name. Okay, so it will provide me the attribute value that is Nayan. And in case if I'm going to call the class directly, in that case as well I will be able to access that attribute name and its value Nayan. So as you can see that with the help of this init method and self keyword, I don't need to provide this name parameter again and again to its different methods. Okay, just I need to mention self keyword only. Also with the help of this self keyword, I am able to access this greetings method that I have defined within the class. Now this is another example where I would like to showcase you. So again over here I have defined a class say hi with just a single method called init, and I'm just providing it an attribute name with value of this name parameter. So I will execute this shell and define a class, and when I will say like this, you can see that I am able to access this name attribute and its value Nayan over here. Okay, so it is not compulsory to use this name, you can provide anything over here. So abs, so in that case I need to re-execute this cell and define a class again, and you can see that I have got this error that say hi object has no attribute name. Why? Because its attribute has been changed from name to abs. So I need to define abs over here, and you can see that I am able to access abs attribute and its value Nayan. So whenever I'm going to provide any value for these name parameters over here, I have provided a value called Nayan to this name parameter. So it will be over here like this, and then it will be passed to this self.abs attribute like this. So then abs attribute will have this value Nayan. Let me undo it. Now I will comment out this code and I will uncomment this code and again redefine the class, and you can see that I have got this error that say hi object has no attribute abs. Okay, now as you can see over here that as I have used this print statement, I am able to print this name parameter value called Nayan, but I am not able to access this attribute. Why? Because as we haven't used self in this init method, it has not bind this abs attribute with the instance of the class called where. Now let me uncomment these two lines. Okay, I will redefine the class again, and as soon as I execute this particular cell, it will tell me that say hi takes no argument. Why? Because as I haven't used underscore init underscore method, so I cannot execute a class with parameter value. So for that, what I need to do is I need to create an instance of the class without any argument like this, where equal to say hi, and then where dot greetings equal to Nayan. So let me execute this. So you can see over here it will return me an error that missing one required positional argument name. Why? Because as soon as we are not using this init method, this self is no more a keyword. It is an parameter for this particular method, for this particular function. So when I have called this method with Nayan parameter value, this parameter value has been assigned to this self. Okay, so now I will execute this statement again, but providing the two values, and now you can see that I have got this error that string object has no attribute name. The reason being Nayan and 123 has been provided to these two parameter like Nayan, and over here it will be like 123. So it will be like this Nayan and then 123, and that's where we have got this error that string object has no attribute name. Okay, so this is the importance of init method and self keyword, without which it is not possible to access anything within the class, as well as it is not possible to bind anything with the instance or the object of the class. So let me undo it. Okay, and we'll redefine the class again. Okay, and now we will see that how to access attributes and their values defined in a class and bound to an instance of the class. So for that we have two ways. One is this is my instance name or object name, where that I have defined like this over here. Okay, so this is the instance name or an object name. Then underscore dict underscore, this is the method that I am going to call to access attributes and their values. Another way is to use this command vars, where's, and instance name or object name. In both way we will be able to get attributes and their values. So these two statements will provide me attributes and their values like abs Nayan. In case if you just want attributes name, so where dot underscore dict underscore dot keys parenthesis, and in case if you want the attribute values only, then where dot underscore dict underscore dot values. Now let's see a class defined with positional arguments and keywords arguments. So positional arguments that we have defined earlier, keywords arguments, so where we will provide a key and their value in that way, like arg1 equal to 1, arg2 equal to 2. So these are the keywords argument. Now let's define a class called calculation. So it is the docstring of this calculation class. So importance of docstring is just to provide an overview, just to give an idea if someone is looking at your code that what a particular class or a particular function will do, what is the purpose of that particular class. So that's where we need to use this docstring. Then I have used this init method with self keyword and assign two attributes called a and b with the values of parameters num1 and num2. Then I have defined three methods called summation, multiply, and mix. So summation will provide sum of these two attributes, multiply will multiply these two attributes, and mix will call these two methods called self.summation and self.multiply, and it will provide sum and multiplication of these two attributes called a and b. So as you can see that once I have assigned two attributes and their values, I don't need to mention them again and again with these three different methods. Okay, I just need to mention self, and then it will take care of everything. So over here as well, that I don't need to provide the values of a and b attributes, it will take care itself. Okay, so I will execute this cell and define a class, then I will execute this cell and create an instance or an object of this particular class. So cal.summation, so as we have used this init and self, so it is a bound method called summation of this main class or main module called calculation, and it has been provided memory location. Okay, now if I want to get the output of this summation method, so this will be the output of this summation method, this will be the output of multiply method, and this will be the output of mix method, which is going to use summation and multiply method together with this self keyword. Okay, now how to define a class with keyword arguments. So for that we can define a class like with predefined values like a equal to none and b equal to none. So then I have created two attributes a and b with the values of a and b parameters. I will execute this cell, and then I can provide keyword arguments like this, calculations a equal to 2 and b equal to 8. So it will provide me the output. Okay, another way to define a class with keyword arguments is like this, where I'm going to use two parameters or two positional arguments a comma b and then double star quarks. So this a and b are my positional arguments and double star quarks are my keywords arguments. What I have done over here is I have created three attributes over here, a, b, and quarks, and assigned them values of a, b, and quarks parameters. Then these three methods will remain same, there is no change in it. Then I have defined another method called extra, which will provide me Python dictionary of keyword arguments, and then extra sum. So this extra sum will sum value of d keyword argument and z keyword argument. Yeah, so over here you can see that I have provided positional argument values like b equal to 8 and a equal to 2. So over here I have defined a first and b later, and I am providing values of b first and a second. So if you are going to provide values like this, then it is fine, you can interchange the position. Then star star quarks. So apart from these a and b's values, whatever I have defined will be considered as quarks or keyword arguments. Now I will call this mix method, and it will provide me the values of summation and multiply methods. If I call this extra method, I will get a Python dictionary of keywords argument. So this is the key z and its value 9, this is the key d and its value 12, this is the key name and its value 9. And if I execute this extra sum method, it will sum the values of these z and d parameters or keywords arguments. To summarize this session, whenever you are going to define any class with some parameters, some keyword arguments, in that case it is compulsory to use _init_ method with self keyword. If you are not going to utilize this self keyword and init method, in that case you won't be able to access anything from the class that we have defined within the class. That's it for the day. Thank you everyone for watching this video.